Hey folks, it's Kozzi here, running a draft for Pick 1 Pack 1. It's been a little bit of a while and I'm itching to get back into things, and now that the weather's settled down I feel as though I have the opportunity and the concentration to run through a draft for you guys today. Hopefully we'll have something sweet. Quick thing before we get into it, I've played a couple of... I know I said at the start of the series I was going to run you through every game I had on my journey, hopefully up through to Master, and that was my genuine intent. But... we had just so many drafts where I felt like I was forcing something away from what was open and not having great results that I was getting a little bit frustrated, spent a little bit of time just doing normal drafts, and before I knew it, with my kind of Stone Scar and Rakano builds, was doing quite well. And so I had the realization that perhaps instead of just showing the videos where I force, I'll just record, see what we happen to get. If we get something that's open and appropriate, then we'll run it, and if not, then I might just leave those videos out and show the ones that are either, powerful or I finally actually have a genuinely open archetype outside of the aggressive red decks. You never know, this might be it. Dawnwalker, I feel, is a great card that can get a lot of recursive value, and anything that creates card advantage in Limited where every card is so important is a good card. So we'll pick it and we see how we go. It's worth noting that it wants us to play expensive and powerful units, so we'll keep that in mind. Karmic Guardian, game winner. We'll be very happy to add her to the team. Predator's Instinct is quite a strong combo with Dawnwalker. We've seen it in Constructed. Stormcaller is okay, it pings. Minotaur Ambassador is a great way of ramping up if that's my game plan. Lethari Ranger is strong in its archetype, as is Crownwatch Deserter, but let's take the Predator's Instinct and see how we can build. And here we have the option of Safe Return, which is a great trick. Unlock Potential is a great trick, or Towering Terrazon. I think because this works with our Dawnwalker, we'll take this and stay strong in time. And then Smuggler's Stash, great combat trick if you're in that type of deck. Probably the strongest card in the pack out of the rest of these. I think the ramping could be something that we're interested in. And then we have a choice here between the Ambassador, the Dispel. I think the Ambassador is more likely to get played in our deck. It's worth noticing that it was a great fire card going through as well. We'll take a look at the Levitate. It's the one most likely to get played. I'm still not a fan of Dormant Sentinel. The other one that creates 7/7s is much better. And I guess if we're going very heavy in time, that could be a consideration, but I doubt it's going to make the cut. Get rid of some of these cards that we're seriously not considering. So this keeps us open for Elysian, as well as for Combre. Steelbound Dragon, phenomenal bomb. Perhaps we should contemplate it. Otherwise we've got Amber Acolyte Fixing. District Infantry works well if we are hoping to ramp up. Bold Adventurer. Out of the green cards, the only one that's decent is Karmic Guardian. Out of the blue cards, we have nothing that's exciting, so I feel as though we should audible and look as though and contemplate shifting. Jotun Hurler is a fine Elysian card, as is Serpent Trainer. Rebel Sharpshooter is a great fire card. And again, Steelbound also works with this plan of the Dawnwalker. Very heavy shadow deck, but we'll take the Xenon Guardian. Choice now between Ancient Lore and Rebel Sharpshooter of which direction we really want to head in. I think Ancient Lore is the one we're guaranteed to be playing. And then a lot of temptation to look into going back into Combre. Well, the Ornate Katana is still a good card. I think these packs have just been stacked in weird orders. Stone Scar Maul versus Frostkin. It looks like we've picked our archetype. And now we have a choice between the Pyrodept and the Dispel. If we're getting aggressive, I'm happy taking a Pyrodept here. Wow, okay. So yeah, fire's definitely open heading in this direction. We were right to jump in. I think we'll take the piercing shot here over the Cyclops, or the Cyclops does still work with our plan. We need to keep in mind that the ramp that we had wasn't in time. Although ideally we'd love to be able to splash it a little bit for that Karmic Guardian. Removal's hard to get. I think we'll go that way. And this now gives us the opportunity to get a bit of the splash happening, or the Magma Javelin. I think I'd rather play for the fixing, because having the Karmic Guardian is a very powerful card. Axe is unlikely to get played, but we'll pick it. I'll clean up a bit. Possibly play that late, so we'll keep it in for now. Elysium Banner is unlikely to be too helpful. So it's not looking too bad. Accelerate we won't be playing. Heavy Axe is less likely. Sand Warrior is also quite possible not to be the case. It's not looking too bad. Countess we're not going to be able to play. Sword we could if we splash heavy, but I don't think we will be. Burnout is a great combat trick. Finest Hour is also a great combat trick, but not in our colours. And Guardian is just a phenomenal creature. Or we got the ability to reinforce our splash. I think I'll take the Burnout. We want to be able to have the reach, we want to be able to have the damage. We'll definitely be taking the Torch here. I think it's better than the Bold Adventurer. And because we're playing with the expensive guys, this is the kind of deck where Sauropod Wrangler can actually be quite good. If we can get a discount on our Terrazon or our Steelbound, I think that'll be good news for us. We'll take the extra Ancient Law. And now we've got a genuine choice between Granite Acolyte and Predator's Instinct. How many Predator's Instincts is too many? I think 3 is too many, but 2 I'd be happy to see. But Granite Acolyte does represent a solid 2 for 1. I think we'll take the Acolyte for now. Tough choice here. Actually, very tough choice. So let's take a look at how this deck wants to play out. We have the Instinct. We have the Dawnwalker. Actually, I probably should have taken the Instinct knowing I had the Dawnwalker in the deck. To be able to turn that combo on is very powerful. Torch, removal, piercing shot. So we've got some good early removal, but not a lot of 2-drops. We've only got 3, so that could be a point in favour of the Ronin. On the 3s, we're still a little bit low on 3s as well. 4s, we've got some good card draw, combat trick. So out of our curve currently, 4 is probably best accounted for. And then we have some expensive cards. So I think that means we want to take the Ronin. The Ronin also gives us a Warcry trigger, which means that some of these could get more expensive so that we get more value out of the Wrangler or the Dawnwalker. And here I think it's a simple case for the Bold Adventurer. Take the combat trick and see where it leads us. A late Xenon Guardian is very nice. A little bit of a shame that our two out of our 3 rares so far, or 2 out of our 4 rares have been in a colour that we were committed ourselves out of. How many weapons do we have? We have a Katana, we have the Granite Acolyte, the Stone Scar Maul, and the desire to have a couple more weapons. So I think the Quartermaster represents more value for me than the Guardian, and also 3s is something that we're after more. Choice between the Trick and the Instinct. I think we'll take the Instinct. And so now we've got a choice between the Trick and the Channeler. We don't really have any creatures that care about getting the extra bit of reach, so no Infiltrate creatures. Perhaps Unlock Potential. is interesting as well. I think I'd prefer this over Rampage in this particular build. We'll take the early curve. And we'll take the extra weapon. Now we got to ask ourselves, how many combat tricks is too many? As it currently stands, I don't think the Sam Warrior is going to be getting played, because we're going to need a fair amount of fire to make sure we hit these Ronins. Excuse me. So we have 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 2-drops, so that makes me think I might want the Stranger. Yeah. Take the Fatty. And the Fixing. Wow, Shadow. A lot of Shadow available. Card we probably dislike the most. And nothing late for us. So I'll just quickly go through our dominant colours, make sure that there's nothing obvious that we're missing that we want to contemplate. And get rid of these late picks. I didn't hit the Stone Scar Magus then, so I might have gotten rid of something that was useful. So, Sam Warrior doesn't look right. This is a relatively expensive deck, so I think 18 banners is probably the right number. We don't have a lot of fixing, so it's probable that we'll be cutting the Karmic Guardian. I don't know how much I want to stretch my... We'll definitely not be playing the Ambassador. So we have 1, 2... And we do have a bit of double pressure on both of our colours. Yeah, I think it's going to be too greedy to take the Guardian there. So instead, I think we'll run... I think we just want to run an even split, considering that at 4 we're going to be wanting to have access to 2 time. Later on we're going to be wanting to have access to 2 fire, and we also want to have access to fire early. We don't need as much time early, but okay, and even at 3 we need access to double time. So that is going to be a bit of pressure on our deck. So we need to be cutting 6 spells. We're a bit pushed here on the 5s. I feel as though they're the weaker ones, and that's a solid curve up if we can get to it. The Guardians are good. The Tower Top Patrol doesn't really suit our plan. Javelin's good. Burnt Out is good. We need to ask ourselves how much this is going to help us keep a creature alive. It's more of a... well, it's either a bit of reach at the end or a defensive spell, I think. And these look good. Probably not the Hand Axe. So we need 2 carts. We're a little bit clumpy on the 4s. We have maybe 1 or 2 too many 2s. I think without the extra reach we could afford to look at less Pyrodepts, and that leaves us with what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. Yeah, that's not too bad. Perhaps Synchronized Strike is the weakest card here, although we don't have any tricks. We do have some good removal. Bit of card draw. So Unlock Potential is a permanent boost, so I think we'll take that over the combat trick there. And lock that one in. Still quite aggressive. Slightly different though. I haven't actually come across this colour combination before, so we'll see how it plays out. My name's been Kozzi, and this has been a draft for Pick 1 Pack 1. Thanks for watching so far, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good one.